What's going on, everybody? Rico here, Send Flips, and this is my first video for this channel. Just want to talk a little bit about what I'll be doing with this channel and go over a recent treasure box. On this channel, I'll be thrifting, going to garage sales, going to flea markets, going to thrift stores, things like that. And either taking video while I'm actually in those locations or after, and looking for things to resell. Started off doing clothing and messing around with that a little bit, putting stuff on eBay, Poshmark, and Grailed for vintage clothes, so vintage hats, vintage shirts, things along those lines. And then also on eBay, anything else that I find that could be worth money, reselling. I've been looking at video games, cleaning off some shelving, stuff that I had. I've got an old Xbox 360 that I'm posting and selling that's not being played anymore. Cleared off some Nintendo DS games that haven't been touched in years. And then just some other bits and clothes around the house that my family's had that we're looking to sell. On top of finding things to sell through the yard sales, garage sales, things like that. Recent find. And I wanted to start with this video with this find because, I don't know, maybe it's all downhill from here and it's not going to get any better. I went to 2 yard sales last weekend. So today's August 18th. This would have been this past Saturday, whichever day that was. First yard sale was a complete bust. Didn't find anything at all. We didn't. I think we bought a lemonade from a little girl selling some lemonades and snacks there. Second yard sale ended up being better. I picked up 2 nice beer steins for $1 each. One of them I'm going to keep. It is a... I can't really, you can kind of see it back there. Declaration of Independence Miller High Life mug. It's worth like $10 to $20 on eBay, but I didn't want to deal with having to ship it and protecting it and wrapping it so it doesn't break. And I like the design, very patriotic, so I'm keeping that one. The other one was kind of a fishing theme, was part of a set. Same thing, could be anywhere $10 to $20. That one I'm just going to resell in a yard sale that we plan to have in a couple weeks. Probably try to get $5 for it. Like I said, I paid $1, so if I can get a $4 profit, that'd be great. Also bought a leaf blower at that yard sale, which ended up being fantastic because I've been doing my own yard work and needed a leaf blower. So between, if you follow me on buymeacoffee.com, I have a blog going there, so it's buymeacoffee.com/fedsen, F-E-D-S-E-N, and I've been blogging a lot of what I've been finding up until this point, and I'll continue blogging on that site as well as doing videos on this YouTube. Yeah, leaf blower that it's going to help save me money. And I also got a PlayStation 2 bundle, so I get a PlayStation 2 with 1 controller, 2 memory cards, a stack of games, and some random Rock Band accessories. I've listed the Rock Band accessories. I've got the PS2 with the controller, the memory cards, and most of the games posted on Facebook Marketplace for hopefully for local buy and pickup. Trying to get $75 for it. I paid $20 for this bundle. Asking $75 for that. I listed 2 things separately. One was the game Time Splitters, and that's in this bin right here. I'm not going to dig it out. Probably the best game in there. That's been going for a good amount on eBay, so I listed that one on its own. I'm going to try to move my camera here. I apologize because I do this, but it's crooked. And then there was this Code Breakers game that was in there. Codebreakers, like version 5, it's like a cheat disc for games or something like that. I listed that for 25 and sold it just today. So that game alone paid for the PS2 bundle and basically the leaf blower, when you think about it. But that's personal use. So we'll say it played for the PS2 bundle and the 2 Steins in that lot, which is kind of what I like to do. I try to, whatever I buy, I try to make sure that I'll at least obviously break even, so I'm not losing any money doing this, because the idea is to earn money and use that money for buying whatever we want, or paying off some stuff. Like right now I'm basically doing this because the kids and I want the Oculus Quest 2 that's coming out. It's like $300, so I've been trying to buy and resell stuff enough to buy that straight out cash, and then the VR set that we have, I can turn around and sell that, because the Oculus Quest will be an upgrade. And that's mainly it's fun. It's a hobby for me doing this, but if I can make enough money to be able to make random purchases and not have to pay out of pocket, that's the big goal. So good PS2 bundle buy. So anything that I sell, if I sell that Time Splitters game or the PS2 bundle itself, that's all profit. Which is great. That's where I want to be. After I left that yard sale, I ended up taking a shot at a flea market that I found listed. Got there, the flea market ended up being a bust as far as what a flea market would be concerned. I thought there was going to be a bunch of vendors there, a pretty decent sized flea market. I was hoping for at least 15, 20 vendors or more. There was like 5. Walked in, talked to the first guy. He was selling some healthy drinks and stuff like that. I ended up buying a couple of energy drink type of things from him. Went over to the next guy, and he had a lot of antique stuff. I saw an old typewriter, which is what caught my attention when I walked over to him. A couple other booths that had really nothing. I did buy one from one other booth, a couple of car air fresheners, but that's it. But the guy that I walked up, he had the antique typewriter, a couple of pieces of furniture. I'm like, this is kind of cool. And I look down and I see this Rubbermaid bin, and it just had a bunch of junk in there. I'm here, I might as well look while I'm here. So I look down and I move something, and I see a G.I. Joe. Okay, caught my attention. So I dig a little bit, pull out a second G.I. Joe. Now both of these are only pieces, half a G.I. Joe. So it was like the upper torso and his arms and the head. I'm like, alright, well, it's 2 broken G.I. Joes. But I knew a little bit, or I know enough of vintage toys that that these were original G.I. Joes from the 80s, and that they could still be worth something even if they're broken. Wasn't sure exactly how much. So I asked the guy, how much are you looking for this stuff? And he said, I don't know, $1 or $2 piece. Okay, that's not bad, but I don't know if I want to be paying $1 for a broken, half a G.I. Joe. Maybe 50 cents. Find the other half and pay another 50 cents. So I started digging a little bit, and I'm just moving some stuff out of the way. I'm not really paying attention to what's in there, and I look down, and at the bottom, I see the Battle Cat. So I'm I gotta find my stuff here. So I've got them in a little package going right now. I went through and separated everything and find it. So I ended up seeing this guy at the bottom of the box. And that caught my attention, because if he's in the bottom of a junk box at a flea market, instantly I'm thinking he's not the remake. He's going to be part of the original He-Man release. As I reach down to grab him, the guy says, because he sees me digging a little bit, he says, tell you what, give me $10, I'll let you take the whole Rubbermaid bin, you can take it home and look through it. Okay. I'm holding 2 broken G.I. Joes in one hand that he could see, and my right hand's down in the box, and I'm thinking, Battle Cat's got to be worth at least $10. So if I get this for $10, Battle Cat makes my money back, and then anything else ends up being worth money. And it's like, hey, if there's one other He-Man in here, or the rest of the G.I. Joe parts in here, I might be good. So I close up the bin, don't look at anything else, pick it up, and I kind of walk over to him. He says he's got some stuff in a trailer, so I put the bin down, I go in his trailer, look around, and he had a bunch of other boxes in there. 8 tracks, records. I'm like, nah, I don't want to dig through all this. Gave him $10, took the box. Now, one thing that I'm thinking back that I do kick myself, and I'm hoping he's there in a couple of weeks when I go back, is he said something about vintage Tonka trucks. And I know those can potentially be valuable. So I got to do a little research on vintage Tonka trucks. If you know anything about them, by all means, talk to me in the comments here. But I got to go back and see what he has, and then see what he wants for them. If he's looking for like maybe $5 or less for a truck, I'll probably be a buyer, as I could imagine, as long as they're not completely scorched, they should have some money. Now, what was in that box of junk? Well, that box ended up having almost everything in it was sellable, except for literally what ended up being like a handful of stuff. So I'll go through what I have and can show you, and then I'll talk about some of the stuff that I've already sold. So Battle Cat was in there. The little motorcycle thing rider was in there for He-Man, and Merman. So if you can see him, full on Merman, pulled out of that. I've looked up most of these as far as I did a lot of research online to identify some of the stuff that I found, and I've got kind of a general idea of pricing. This bag right here should be a minimum of $50 on eBay, minimum. I got to do a little bit more research to see if I can get more out of that, or if I sell them separately, or if I want to lot it up like this and sell it for like $50 as is. So we'll see how that goes. The rest of the He-Man stuff was pieces, but pieces can sell. So I've got the serpent snake from how do you my camera move here? The serpent snake from piece from the Serpent Mountain, gate from Serpent Mountain, drawbridge from Castle Grayskull, and the body but headless Skeletor battle damage. $10 at least, probably. Selling this as a lot of just pieces, He-Man pieces. So this bag right here, if I get the $10 that I think from this, would pay for that box of junk. You want to keep a running total. That other bag with the Battle Cat, the motorcycle looking thing, and Merman, that would be like a positive 50. I already sold and found out of that the Mask game, toy, M-A-S-K, little green motorcycle that turned into a helicopter. I sold that for $12. And then there was a Captain American Mego, 1980s, broken leg, left leg was broken, holes throughout the uniform, and hole in a boot, and just beat up. Sold him for $12. And then the two big things that I've listed and sold out of this. Rob, the Nintendo robot, was the robot, the little motor piece that spins the gyro, which worked. Rob was not working, that I know of. Didn't even test him because the wire to him was busted. And the battery compartment was a little messed up. Sold him as parts. Rob the robot, little motor that held the gyro that spun it, working. I did test that. And then two pieces in the gyro itself. Sold that. I listed it for $120. took an offer of 75 and sold it. So that's an actual sale and profit that I made, and I'll see if I edit this video, I'll throw up some pictures. And then the other big one, I didn't even know what this was. It was a robot. And I'll try to put the picture of that up here. It was a robot, ended up a friend of mine identified as a robot from an anime back in the 80s. And that thing was super rare. There was only one other that was ever listed on eBay, and it sold for $76 at least a month ago. So I posted mine, buy it now for $75 plus shipping, and that sold. So between Rob and this robot, the Bandai robot, I should pull up my eBay here so I can give you better accuracy of what I'm talking about here. Bear with me. Rob sold for 75. As parts. The 1973 Mego, sold for 13, and then it was a vintage Bandai Bionoid Mad Hurricane from the 1984 Polaris Senshiro anime, and I sold that for 75. And then the Mask Condor motorcycle helicopter sold for 11. So between those, it was $150, $160, $174 just in those items out of that box. Currently listed, but not sold, is 1982 Warlord figure that can be used with the He-Man sets. I've got a Sector action figure from the 80s, a little Smurf, Tron Warrior, part of a Fisher-Price little space shuttle. Those are currently listed unsold. Not listed, everything else I'm about to show is not listed. The He-Man, Battle Cat, and those parts were not listed yet. This was one of the things I kept moving out of the way in the box, and I didn't really pay attention to what it was, because it looked pretty beat up. A lot of the stuff was covered in dust and dirt, and I had to do a slight rinse, not a heavy rinse, because I didn't want to lose any stickers. I thought this might have been a piece to a G.I. Joe, couldn't find it, couldn't figure it out, and then finally I found out it was the Secret Wars Tower of Doom from 1984. And it's got the top piece with the chair, one of the guns, one's missing. It's got the elevator on the side, the doors, and then the rest of it's kind of scorched. I'll sell this for parts. Comps on it are pretty high. I could probably, if I ask $20 for it, it'll probably sell. So there's that. Let's see here. Clash of the Titans Charn figure. There's comps on eBay for this, and I'll be listing this soon. I've seen comps upwards of $40 for this guy. Miscellaneous pieces of stuff. Had I known this guy was... Oh, this actually, I bought this one. This is from a different purchase, so I'll skip over him. This is a 1972 Matchbox car that was in there. Pretty beat up, but it'll sell. 1983 Black Star Toys. This is two figures that will be sold as parts because they're missing limbs, and then one Blue Demon. But this orange guy has a thing on his wrist that there are some people trying to sell just that little piece on his wrist for $20. Power Lords Toys, Arcus, beat up, selling him for parts. The things for parts I could probably get at least $5 for. This is a 1982 Raygoth from the something Power Lords. Another robot. Another Sector. TSR Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This was a good lot of stuff. There's a Umber Hulk that's pretty beat up, a Hook Horror that's in good shape, Raging Roper that's okay. There's a Warlord figure. There's a couple of bendy mercenary man-at-arms and a few weapons in there. I'm hoping I might get like $50 for this pack of stuff. There's just a single wing to Darth Vader's X-Wing that's really scorched up that, you know, I might try to sell for $5 and take an offer on. A beat-up Tasmanian Devil from 1982 era. I've got a GoBots, 1985 GoBots Zero plane, which only missing the propeller, and then parts to another GoBot there, GoBot tank. You know, again, even if I get, for all these, even if I get $5 a piece for them, it's all profit. A couple of parts to the Lexor 7 vehicle from 1984 Superpowers line of toys. I've got the Marvel Secret Wars, so it can potentially go with that Tower of Doom. It's the Captain America, and then there's a Spider-Man hologram shield in there. This could be a potentially $20 piece. 2 DC Superpowers. I got Aquaman and Green Lantern in there. And then I've got a 1982 Fisher-Price drag racer car that was in there. It still works. If you pull it back, it'll go. So that's those are kind of the random 1980s style toys that were pulled out of that box. And again, a lot of it looked like junk because there was dirt and it was hidden from that Tower of Doom, and the Rob the Robot, I didn't even see it all until I got home and started digging through, and I was like, whoa. And then the good stuff, the G.I. Joes. These are all 82 to 89 original line of G.I. Joes. Water moccasin boat for parts with the Copperhead figure. Now all the G.I. Joes that were in that box, the O-ring that held their torso to their legs were rotted out. I did order some replacement O-rings on eBay, and I think I might go and replace all the O-rings so these guys actually are together and pretty sturdy. But overall, they're all in pretty good shape considering their age and the fact that they're in this box of junk. So just replacing the O-ring, they should be really good. I mean, like this guy here, the Copperhead, he's still got the Cobra symbol on his chest. The paint's still good. So I got that. Let's see here. We got. We'll save that one. The Jeep, which part for parts again. It's broken. But there's parts that can be pulled off of it. So someone can reuse the wheels. Someone can reuse the parts of the body. If they have other parts of this and they want to read it. From a different purchase that I got from someone of a lot of G.I. Joes, I added the driver into the lot so I can actually put it together and make more money off of it. Cobra Hiss Tank was in there with the driver. He's actually in one piece, although his O-ring is really loose. Got the watchtower with all four sides and the door and the floor, but none of the other accessories. And again, this was all in that box, all potential profit. Helicopter, little Fang helicopter for parts. Sorry, showing you the wrong side. That tank I got from a different purchase. Potentially the little hawk, whatever, I can't remember what it's called, Skyhawk for parts. Normally, I probably would just toss a lot of this stuff, but I did a little research on eBay, and there's a lot of people that buy parts to these because they have other parts and they need to complete the set. And then they turn around and sell that as a completed set. So here's the big helicopter, the Dragonfly, missing a ton of stuff, but it's got one of the guns, the seat can be reused, the back piece here can be reused, this can be, I mean, there's parts that can be pulled off of this and put on other models if those are damaged and make it better. It's got one missile. So this will be sold for part. And then, I mean, these things that are beat up and sold, are messed up, I sell for parts. I could, like I said, if I just put $5 on them, I'll probably guarantee that I'll sell every single one of those, even as parts, and end up making money. And then here's the real big bag of goodies. So this is just miscellaneous weapons, backpacks, pieces to G.I. Joe stuff. I could potentially get $10, $15 just for that. Freedom, the Eagle, is going for good money, even without his character Spirit with him. Barbecue figure, just needs the O-ring replaced. Televipers just needs the O-ring replaced. And I have to go through, I think I have some of the weapons in here, I think will go to some of these characters. I gotta relook at Destro. There's actually 2 Destros in there. Cobra Officer. There's 83 Torpedo with backpack. Zartan's Chameleon, pieces of his Chameleon bike, but the big thing is his backpack with the mask that he could replace his face with is in it. I've seen this posted for, I think it was like $20 just for that one little piece. 1983 version 1.5 Cobra Commander, just needs his O-ring replaced. And that's it. So all of that stuff that I just went through was in what I thought was just a box of junk that had a couple of broke G.I. Joes, and then maybe, or a couple broke G.I. Joes, the He-Man Battle Cat, and maybe a couple other things potentially in there. It's a treasure trove. It's definitely a treasure box. So the buymeacoffee.com/FedSend is where I'll continue to update what is selling out of that box on eBay. And then at some point when everything, if and when everything sells, I'll do like maybe I'll do a follow-up video to this and just talk about it all. But like I said, I've got 4 things out of a $10 box. I've got 4 things that have sold and that have already sold for over $160. So FedSend Flips. Follow this channel if you want to see the adventures and see these crazy finds and everything. Yeah, I guess I'm a vintage toy reseller now. Part-time hobby, but it's fun, and I really enjoy doing it. So make sure you like this video for me, please. I appreciate it. It helps my numbers as I start to build. Again, this is my first video. Hope to do a lot more. Subscribe if you don't mind. And leave some comments. Talk to me about stuff that you're finding, how good of a haul you think that is, and if it's all downhill from here, because I'm never going to find a treasure box like that again. Appreciate y'all hanging out and watching this video. So have a great time. Appreciate y'all. I can't find. How do you stop the video? Press the button.